Stop, don't scroll. Right where you are, place your right hand over the center of your chest. Close your eyes for just a second. Feel the fabric of your shirt, the warmth of your hand. Now breathe into that hand, into that point of contact. That silent, patient ache you feel under your palm. It isn't just loneliness. You've been scanning every room you enter, every new face, not for a lover, but for a signal of recognition you can't logically explain. A feeling of looking for someone you already know but haven't met yet. This is the quiet hum of a soul contract coming online. It's the feeling of waiting for a guest you know is coming, but you don't know when or who they are. This creates a dissonance where your external life, no matter how full, feels like a waiting room. In this transmission, I promise you will come to understand the signal that precedes this person's arrival. I promise you will receive the protocol to recognize them when they appear, without doubt. And I promise you will grasp the true nature of the activation contract that binds you together, beyond any earthly definition. You've felt it, haven't you? That feeling that you're perpetually in a waiting room, scanning every face for a flicker of recognition. What if that sense of waiting isn't a sign of lack, but the signal that your energetic counterpart is already in orbit? You've likely noticed that a force seems to hold you in the same relational cycles, the same near misses. But what if that pattern you call bad luck in love is just the reflection of a sovereign dyad contract that hasn't been properly activated because you haven't had the recognition protocol? Now think with me. What if that deep, quiet ache isn't a wound to be healed, but a receiver tuning to a specific frequency? What if the synchronicities, the number pairs, the sudden creative urges are not random, but breadcrumbs leading you to the most important encounter of your life? What if every failed connection was simply a calibration test, preparing your system to finally recognize the authentic signal pointing to the answer you have been waiting for? It was in seeking answers to this that I advise you to this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not just a reading. It is a material created for those who wish to understand the invisible mechanisms that influence results, prosperity, personal fulfillment, and growth. In its pages, you will discover the Arcturian principles of frequency resonance that can transform how you interpret your connections. You will finally understand why some souls repeat the same painful karmic loops, while others, who know the protocol, step into their sovereign dyad and activate their shared mission. There are very few who will have access to this clarity, and you who have come this far are one of them. So, this is my invitation. Do not wait another year living with that quiet ache of waiting. Click the first pinned comment right here below this video and get your access now. Your catalyst, your true energetic counterpart, might be much closer than you can imagine. Remember the sensation of a lock clicking open deep in your chest, the sudden, profound silence that quiets all mental chatter, the warmth of recognition spreading like honey. This is not a fantasy. This is a 3-minute key, a frequency you can hold in your awareness. The next time you feel that inexplicable somatic magnetic pull to go to a new place, to turn down a street you never take, use this key. Feel for that warmth, that click, that silence. Tuck it away in the depth of your awareness. And beyond our digital guide, Soul, you have here another way to strengthen this message that arrived for you today, and to make it reach more and more souls like you. We don't receive a single cent for each word I deliver to you every day on this channel. As a way for you to give back something of what you receive here, we also keep a voluntary donation link open, right below the digital book in the first pinned comment. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any sum your heart points to, this is what keeps our channel standing. This is what makes the next message reach another soul who needs it exactly the way you needed it today. I'll see you there, soul. And if you need to leave before the end of this video, know that I have left a sealed packet of frequency for you in the first pinned comment. It's not the full transmission, but it's a signal, an anchor, a recognition that you were here. It is waiting there for you. But stay, because the name of what is happening to you has not yet been pronounced. I promised you that the name of what is happening would be pronounced. But before a name is given, it must be recognized. A name is not an invention. It is a confirmation of a frequency that is already present. So let's not speak of what is coming. Let's speak of what is already here. In the margins of your life, as quiet evidence, these are the signals the Council sends to prepare the field for a significant arrival. The first sign is what the Arcturians call frequency echoes. It begins subtly. You glance at the clock and it's 11:11 or 2:22, just as the ache of longing surfaces in your chest. You're driving and you notice two identical birds flying in perfect formation alongside your car. You buy two of something by mistake. This isn't your mind playing tricks. This is the universe practicing its scales for the duet it's about to conduct. The energetic signature of two, of pairing, is being imprinted onto your reality field, preparing your subconscious for a profound alignment. It's the harmonic overtone of an approaching soul. The second sign is the unprompted creative surge. You are suddenly, almost compulsively, drawn to begin a new creative project. It might be the urge to write, to paint, to finally learn that instrument. This is not a distraction. This creative energy is a nesting instinct of the soul. You are not simply starting a hobby, you are unconsciously building a landing strip for an energy that has not yet physically arrived. You are weaving a vibrational nest, preparing a welcoming space in your own field for this person to land in, a frequency that says, "I am ready. This space is prepared for you." The third sign is what is known as the external mirror. It happens during a casual coffee with a close friend, someone who knows you well. They pause mid-sentence and look at you with sudden, startling clarity. "You know, Mo," they say, "you have this look lately, like you're listening for a doorbell, even out here. Are you expecting someone?" And the words land not in your ears, but with a dull thud of truth in your solar plexus, a truth you hadn't even admitted to yourself. And regarding that moment with your friend, that unexpected observation that you just recognized, the protocol to understand why the universe speaks through others at critical moments is held for you. The key is waiting. It is in the first pinned comment. The fourth sign is more intimate. It is Mahi, the dream of presence. You have recurring dreams, not of a specific person's face or body, but of a distinct presence. You can't see them, but you feel their energy next to you with an impossible familiarity. It is a feeling of profound safety, of a calm that quiets every fear. You feel a sense of home so powerful that when you wake, the real world feels slightly muted, less real, for hours. Your soul is rehearsing the energetic signature of being with them, so that when they arrive, your body will know them before your mind does. And the fifth and most undeniable sign is the activation of your somatic compass. You'll be driving, and an inexplicable magnetic pull will urge you to turn down a street you never take. You'll be walking through a park and feel a clear physical tug from your sternum to sit on a specific bench. This is not a thought. It is your body's own intelligence locking onto an incoming signal, a homing beacon that has been switched on. Your energetic system is beginning to physically guide you towards the coordinates of your meeting. If you have recognized at least 3 of these 5 signs in your own life, then know this with certainty. The Council, the universe, and your own higher consciousness have not brought you to this transmission by accident. You have been guided here because the arrival window is now open. Your system is being calibrated. The final preparations are underway. Type 1111 in the comments below. In the Council's system, 1111 is the frequency of timeline convergence when 2 paths designed for each other finally meet. Your comment is not platform interaction. It is a location marker in the field, declaring your readiness for this arrival. This pattern of near misses, this heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections that you have endured, has a specific function, and it has a name. There is a classification in the ancestral archives for this very experience and for the sacred connection that is designed to end it for good. I will tell you this classification, I promise. I still haven't told you the most important thing. You have arrived at this precise intersection of time and space for a reason. The opening of this hour you are crossing has been seen, and the Council knows that the ache of waiting you carry is not a punishment but a preparation, because between feeling the call and understanding the answer, there is a gap. A gap the spiritual adversaries know better than you do, not because wisdom was denied to you, but because the moment arrived, that next time you feel that magnetic pull, and the protocol to distinguish the true signal from the echo was still missing. And I tell you this because I have seen it happen. I have seen the way a casual coffee with a friend suddenly turns into a sacred mirror where an offhand comment lands with the weight of prophecy. I have seen the quiet confusion of feeling a lock click open in the chest for someone turn into the clarity of a shared mission. I have seen the buzzing noise of endless searching turn into the profound silence of true recognition. I have seen the warmth of honey spreading through the heart, not as fleeting romance but as permanent activation. This happens because the spiritual adversaries thrive on the spiritual near-miss pattern, creating convincing forgeries of connection. They are masters of the convincing karmic entanglement that feels like the real thing, but only drains your light. And you already know this. You just hadn't given it a name yet. Think of that quiet, phantom limb feeling you have, an ache for a person you haven't even met. It's not a fantasy, it's the echo of a soul contract waiting for its counterpart. And how many times have you poured your light, your hope, your energy into those false positives, connections that burned incredibly bright and then turned to ash, leaving you more depleted than before? What if the lingering fear isn't that you're unlovable, but that you will miss the real signal when it comes or misread it, and remain in this waiting room forever, listening for a doorbell that never seems to ring for you? That exact fear of missing the signal is an energetic signature they use against you. Now, just for a second, I want you to press your thumb against the pad of your index finger. Just feel the pressure. This is the simplest anchor. It's a physical declaration that you are here now and ready to receive the correct frequency, no longer available for interference. It was in search of this exact answer that I arrived at this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not a collection of theories, it is a transmission of applied knowledge. It is a practical manual for recognizing the frequency of a true catalyst connection and distinguishing it from the karmic traps that have kept you spinning. The wisdom in this book is not for everyone. It is reserved for those souls who have felt the specific ache of waiting and have seen the signs of an impending arrival. It is for those who are ready to graduate from the cycle of near misses. Touch the link in the first pinned comment now, secure your copy, and then come back here and register in the comments "activated," because that word is a seal. It is a declaration. And there is no force of doubt or delay that has the power to stop what the Council, the universe, and your own consciousness have already set in motion for you. He who listens for the echo of his own soul in another finds the map where the world only shows a mirror. The digital book waiting for you in the first pinned comment was built on this exact architecture. It's not about changing who you are. It's about giving you the frequency key to unlock the door you've been standing in front of. It's about understanding the somatic compass that's pulling you forward. It's the protocol for recognizing the dream of presence when it walks into your waking life. It's the difference between seeing a reflection and finding the map. The clarity inside is less than a Thursday lunch you eat while scrolling, looking for a face you don't even know. It's less than a Friday night pizza you share while feeling a strange, unspoken absence at the table. It's less than a Saturday snack with the kids, wondering who will enter their lives that truly understands the frequency you carry. That hesitation you feel right now, that thought of, what if this is just more hope, has a name. It is the echo of the spiritual near-miss pattern, the fear that this connection too might be another false dawn. And you can let that echo keep you here for another 12 months in this same waiting room, not because this wisdom is worth less, but because you've been trained to believe that the real key could never be this accessible, and it has a 7-day guarantee. If you open it, read it, and it does not serve you, send an email and you will receive a full refund. No questions, no process, no judgment. The risk of this decision is entirely ours. Your only risk is remaining in the same pattern, especially when what is at stake is that next moment, that inexplicable magnetic pull you feel when logic tells you to stay put. Do you follow the pull, or do you let the old static win again? The choice to have the map in your hand before you reach that crossroads is yours. A soul wrote to us yesterday. I am a nurse, 42 years old. It was 3 a.m. on my break. and I was reading the section on the somatic compass. I put down my phone, walked to a different floor of the hospital, and saw a man I'd worked with for years. Our eyes met, and for the first time I felt that click you described. Nothing has been the same. Another, a graphic designer 35, said this. On Sunday afternoon I was staring at a blank canvas, feeling that unprompted creative surge but paralyzed by it. I opened the book to the recognition protocol. I realized I wasn't creating for myself. I was building the landing strip. By evening, the project was flowing, and I received a message from someone I hadn't spoken to in a decade. A third, a retired teacher, 68, shared, I thought my time for this was past, but as I read about the dream of presence on Tuesday morning, drinking my tea, I recognized the feeling I'd been dismissing for years. The book didn't give me a fantasy. It validated a reality my soul already knew. This heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections finally made sense. You see, soul? You think it's just you, but you are part of a wave of souls coming online. And it is this heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections that in the 11 Arcturian secrets is designed to end, and your family doesn't notice either, and your children don't notice either. And this heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections keeps arriving as that quiet ache under your palm when the house is silent. And there is one more thing I need to mention before the next word that is still to come. As I told you earlier, this channel is sustained not by algorithms but by reciprocity. The digital book is one path, but there is another. Below the book, in the first pinned comment, is a link for a voluntary donation. It is a way to give back for the transmission you received, ensuring the next one reaches the next soul who is waiting. Every such gesture supports our channel and honors the energy exchanged here today. I'll see you there again, soul. Do not close this transmission yet. The protocol is one part, the recognition is the second. But the name of the sacred contract itself has still not been spoken between us. A word that comes from the ancestral archives to describe this very bond. Stay with me for this. You have been working on the level of personal development, trying to heal yourself to become worthy of a great connection. You have been polishing the mirror, hoping to attract a better reflection. But the blockage isn't at the level of self-worth. It's at the level of energetic signature. You have been trying to solve a frequency problem with psychological tools, and that is why the waiting continues. The name for this bond, held in the Arcturian archives, is the sovereign dyad. This is not a soulmate in the earthly romantic sense. It is an assigned energetic counterpart, a twin flame catalyst, whose primary purpose is to create a resonant field that unlocks latent DNA codes and dormant soul memories for both individuals. It is a mission-based pairing, not a romance-based one. The universe is not sending you a partner for your life. It is sending you an activation key for your destiny. To hold this frequency requires 4 micro-commitments. 4 pillars that the spiritual adversaries cannot replicate. First, the commitment to witnessing. To hold the vision of the other person's highest self, especially when they cannot see it for themselves. Second, the commitment to non-attachment. To honor the connection's sacred purpose, which is activation, not to force it into the box of a lifelong romantic partnership. Third, the commitment to energetic integrity. To consciously refuse to let the powerful connection devolve into mundane drama, codependency, or ego games. And fourth, the commitment to reciprocal activation. To understand with absolute certainty that you are also the key for them, just as they are for you. The spiritual enemies, the voices of doubt and distraction, cannot counterfeit this. They can create convincing forgeries, intense, dramatic, karmic connections that mimic the pull but lack the activating frequency. These forgeries are based on shared wounds, not a shared frequency signature. They feel like home for a short time, and then they become a drain on your life force. The sovereign dyad is based on a unique soul frequency, like a cryptographic key that can only be matched by its one true counterpart. Their forgeries are brute force attacks. The dyad is an encrypted, authorized connection. Think of it like this. 2 master musicians are given instruments that have been perfectly tuned to each other, a resonance that no other instrument in the orchestra can produce. They can play along with the general symphony, but when they play together, they create a third harmonic frequency that wasn't present before, a sound that has the power to shatter glass, to vibrate through walls, to change the very structure of the room. This is the sovereign dyad. It's not just about making music together, it's about creating a resonance that changes reality. I'm going to tell you about a soul. I will call her M, not her real name, but the name we give to those who have crossed this specific threshold. M arrived at the exact place where you are now, a life that looked successful on the outside, but was governed by a silent, aching void, a sense that the most important part of her story had not yet begun. M felt that constant low-grade hum of waiting. She moved through a series of intense, promising relationships, each one feeling like the one, only to have them crumble into confusion and dust, leaving her more drained and hollowed out than before. The voices of doubt, her spiritual adversaries, told her she was broken, that she was asking for too much, that she was chasing a childish fantasy. She almost believed them. She almost turned off the receiver in her heart for good, but M's soul contract was already in motion, authorized by the Council before her journey even began. One day, not through seeking but through surrender, she met him. It wasn't a dramatic, cinematic moment in the rain. It was a quiet conversation in a place she almost didn't go to. There were no fireworks. There was only a profound, unnerving silence in her mind, and the distinct feeling of a heavy, ancient lock clicking open in the center of her chest. At first, M tried to fit this square peg into the round holes of her past experiences. She tried to label it using the old language of dating, romance, and partnership, but the connection resisted. It refused to be categorized. It demanded a new framework, a new language. It was in this moment of profound confusion that M realized she needed a different kind of wisdom, not affirmations or dating advice, but an operational manual for the spiritual technology that was being activated within her. She stopped fighting the connection. She stopped trying to force it into a box it was never designed to fit. Instead, she sought out the principles that govern these sacred contracts. She learned to see the connection not as a destination, but as an activation device for her own purpose. She understood that his role was to turn on her light so she could finally see her own path forward. And she understood, in return, that her presence was activating his. It was never about possession. It was about mutual sovereign liberation. M did not take this wisdom into silence. With the precision of a cartographer, she recorded the frequencies, the protocols, the crucial distinctions, creating a map for those who would come after her. And it is this exact wisdom, this practical applied knowledge for navigating a sovereign dyad, that is held within the digital book you will find in the first pinned comment. The truth is, the deepest part of this is still ahead of us. This story of M, this concept of the sovereign dyad, can feel vast and cosmic, like a distant star. But its truth is not in the stars, it is in your body. It is in the way your hand feels warmer when you place it over your heart. It is in the sudden, quiet stillness that falls over you in the middle of a busy day. It is in the subtle shift in your posture as you listen to these words, a straightening of the spine as a part of you recognizes home. The activation of a sovereign dyad contract is not an abstract event. It is a physiological one. It awakens 3 dormant archetypes within your own energetic system, 3 core functions of your higher self that are now coming online. These are not roles you must learn, but aspects of who you have always been, now being called into service. The first archetype being awakened in you is the signal recognizer. This is the part of your consciousness that can discern the unique frequency of your dyad from the loud static of karmic interference. Its signal is not a flash of lightning or a surge of romantic obsession. It is a profound, sober, and unnerving sense of recognition. It is a silence in the mind, a quiet click in the soul that says, with no drama, "Oh, there you are." The second archetype is the resonant anchor. This is your innate ability to hold a stable, high-frequency field, even when the energy of the connection becomes overwhelmingly intense. When this archetype is active, you will notice a strange sense of calm in the midst of the storm. While others would be swept away by the emotion, you feel an unusual capacity to simply be present, to hold the space, to anchor the light. This is the quality that makes the activation possible. The third is the sovereign architect. This is the knower within you that understands the mission. This archetype sees beyond the person and recognizes the purpose. It is the part of you that instinctively grasps that this connection is not meant to fulfill a personal need for romance, but to build something. It is the architect of your shared purpose, the visionary who sees the blueprint that your two souls came here to create. But these three archetypes operating without the complete frequency key can become a liability. The signal recognizer, without the full recognition protocol, becomes an unguarded empathic beacon, a lighthouse that attracts every ship in the storm, including the pirates who are drawn to the light they cannot create for themselves. This is how the spiritual near-miss pattern perpetuates, keeping you in the same exhausting cycle of hope and depletion for another 12 months. If you know yourself to be this beacon, if you feel these archetypes stirring within you, then subscribe to this channel not merely as a viewer, but as a soul declaring your identity. And understand that the full protocol to arm these aspects of yourself, the wisdom to navigate the arrival of your catalyst, is detailed with precision in the digital book. Darsen, the 11 Arcturian Secrets, waiting for you in the first pinned comment. It is there so that the next time you feel that inexplicable somatic pull to turn down a new street, you will have the map in your hand. The choice to receive this is an energetic one, and you will feel the shift in your field within the next 72 hours. This wisdom is not a chaotic wave of information. It rests upon a clear and practical framework, an operational manual for this sacred technology. It has three core pillars that you must understand. The first is the recognition protocol, which gives you the precise energetic and somatic markers to distinguish your sovereign dyad from a convincing karmic forgery. The second pillar is the activation contract. This reframes the entire purpose of the connection, moving it away from the gravitational pull of earthly romance and into its true function. Reciprocal, mission-based activation. It is the why behind the meeting. The third pillar is navigating the post-contact integration, which provides the tools to ground the immense energy that is released when the connection is made, protecting the sacred container of the dyad from the interference that will inevitably come. To even hear this framework is an activation. It is a remembering. The words themselves carry the frequency of the truth they describe. If you feel this resonating in your bones, if a part of you is saying yes to this, I invite you to make a declaration. Go to the comments and simply write the word activated. This is not for me or for an algorithm. It is a seal you place upon this moment. It is a signal you send into the field, a confirmation to the Council and to your own higher self that this transmission has been received and integrated. But understanding the protocol and sealing the transmission is only the first phase. Because once the signal is recognized and the contract is understood, the spiritual adversaries change their strategy. And right now, as you hear this, there is a part of your mind, the logical, protective part, that is rising up. It's saying, this is a beautiful story, but it's just a story, a comforting fantasy to explain loneliness. This voice is not your enemy. It is a guardian that has learned to protect you from disappointment. But it's using an old map. It mistakes the spiritual near-miss pattern for random chance because it cannot compute a reality based on frequency and prearranged contracts. It protects you from hope because it has only ever seen hope lead to pain. Another part of that same mind might be whispering, you're just projecting. You're so eager for this connection that you're turning a stranger into a savior. This too sounds like wisdom, but it misinterprets the data. It mistakes the signal from your somatic compass for a creation of your own mind. It tells you the magnetic pull is just a whim, that the dream of presence is just a wish. It tells you that you are the author of the signal, when in fact you are the receiver. And the final, most sophisticated objection is this. Real relationships are messy and complicated. This sovereign dyad sounds too clean, too perfect, too destined. And here lies the most subtle deception. The sovereign dyad is not about a perfect mess-free connection. The mess is what happens when you try to force this high-frequency, mission-based activation into the low-frequency container of a mundane relationship. The adversaries want it to get messy. They want you to treat it like every other connection because that is how they can sabotage it. Once the contract is activated in your awareness, their strategy shifts from preventing the meeting to corrupting the connection after it has been made. Their first tactic is the voice of doubt. It's the internal whisper that arrives right after a moment of profound recognition. You have the click in your chest, the moment of silence, and then, hours later, the voice says, "You're making it up. It was just a weird feeling. It's just a coincidence." It sounds exactly like your own rational mind. That is its camouflage. Its purpose is to make you question the somatic data from your own body, to invalidate the truth your soul has already recognized. Their second tactic is the cycle of distraction. Just as you start to feel the resonance of this new connection solidifying, your life will suddenly become incredibly busy. An old drama will flare up. A new, exciting but ultimately superficial project or person will appear, demanding all of your attention. This feels like life just happening. It feels legitimate. But it is a precision-timed diversion. It is an energetic smokescreen designed to pull your focus away from the quiet, powerful signal of the dyad and scatter your energy into things that do not matter for your mission. Their third tactic is the isolation of perception. The experience of meeting your dyad is so unique, so far outside the normal range of human connection, that it can feel incredibly isolating. The adversary will use this. A voice will whisper, "No one would ever understand this. You can't talk to anyone about it. They'll think you're crazy." This creates a wall of silence around you, cutting you off from your support systems and, most importantly, from the collective grid of other souls undergoing the same activation. Isolation is the environment where doubt festers and grows. But for every tactic, there is a simple, powerful, somatic weapon of light you can use. Against the voice of doubt, you do not argue. You do not reason with it. You simply stop, place your hand over your heart, and breathe 3 times into your chest. You consciously recall the physical sensation, the click, the warmth, the silence. The body does not lie. The voice is a radio signal. The somatic truth is the ground you stand on. Feel the ground. Against the cycle of distraction, you do not fight or resist. You do not add more stress by trying to force the distractions away. Instead, you practice calm resolution. You handle what needs to be handled, but you consciously hold a small flame of awareness on the feeling in your heart. You maintain the warmth, the hum of the connection, even while you are doing other things. It becomes a quiet anchor in the storm, a background frequency that you refuse to let go of. And against the isolation of perception, you consciously and intentionally reconnect to the grid. You come back to a transmission like this one. You read the comments from other souls who typed 1111 or activated. You remind your system with evidence that you are not alone. You are not a solitary anomaly. You are part of a planetary wave of activation. This is your shield. The memory that you are part of a we dissolves the illusion that you are a crazy I. It's not your fault that this heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections has felt so personal. It's designed to. The spiritual near-miss pattern is the adversary's favorite tool because it convinces you that the problem is you. But the next time you feel that magnetic pull, when the voice of doubt tells you that it's just a coincidence, when a dazzling distraction appears out of nowhere, or when you feel so alone in this experience that you think you must be imagining it all, know this: that is not you. It is the voice that you mistake for your own. And the protocol to distinguish that voice from the true signal of your somatic compass is waiting for you, held with clarity inside. The 11 Arcturian Secrets. Go to the first pinned comment. This is the moment to have the map, because the activation in your field will intensify over the next 72 hours. To ignore this guidance now, to believe you can navigate what is coming with the same tools that kept you in the waiting room, has a quiet and devastating cost. It is not a punishment, it is a consequence of energetic physics. The somatic compass, left uncalibrated, begins to lose its magnetic north. The signal of your dyad, left unacknowledged, begins to fade into the background static. Your heart, after so many false dawns, slowly learns to protect itself by growing numb to the sunrise. The ache doesn't go away, but it becomes a familiar, accepted part of the silence. And now, we will do more than just talk about the system. We will go into it directly. In the next 72 hours, as your system integrates this new frequency, 3 things may begin to happen in your body. Do not be afraid of any of them. They are not signs of malfunction. They are the physiological evidence of a successful recalibration. First, you may experience what the Council calls sudden palm heat. You'll be doing something ordinary, washing dishes, typing, holding a book, and your hands will suddenly become intensely warm, as if you're holding them over a fire. This is not anxiety or a hot flash. This is your energetic system coming online, the circuitry in your hands activating their capacity to both transmit and receive higher frequency information. When it happens, simply place your warm palm over your heart for a moment and acknowledge it. Second, you will notice your dreams become extraordinarily vivid, what are known as integration dreams. You might dream again of the familiar presence, but this time with more detail, more feeling. The dream world will feel more real, more solid than usual. This is not your mind becoming overactive. This is your soul using the safe space of the dream state to process the upgrade, to run simulations, and to continue the dialogue with your sovereign dyad on the energetic planes. The only action required is to notice the feeling that lingers when you wake. Third, you may experience moments of time dilation. An hour spent in quiet contemplation may feel like 5 minutes, or a single minute waiting at a traffic light might stretch out, allowing you to notice details you never saw before. You are not losing your mind or becoming disconnected. This is the first evidence that your consciousness is beginning to untether itself from rigid, linear time and starting to operate in soul time, the natural rhythm of the universe. When you notice it, simply breathe and know you are aligning. And if this transmission has served you, if you have felt a shift in your own field, there is one more thing you can do. The like button below this video is not a metric for an algorithm. Think of it as a signal flare. By pressing it, you are adding your light to this frequency, making this transmission brighter and easier to find for the next soul who is sitting in the same quiet waiting room you once were, scanning the horizon for a sign. And now, we will go deeper than theory. Let us do the work directly in your energy field. Find a comfortable position, sitting with your spine straight. Uncross your legs and let your hands rest gently on your knees, palms facing up. And when you're ready, gently close your eyes. Take one deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. Visualize a cord of golden light extending from the base of your spine, moving down deep into the earth, anchoring you to the planet's crystalline core. Feel the gentle, steady pulse of the Earth's heartbeat, that 783 Hz frequency of the Schumann resonance. This is your ground, this is your anchor. No matter how high the energy goes, you are safe, you are held. Now, bring your awareness to your solar plexus, the space just above your navel. See a warm, amber-colored orb of light gently spinning there, dissolving any knots of fear or self-doubt. Feel it grow warmer, brighter, and then see it rise up into the center of your chest, your heart space. Here it merges with a brilliant emerald green light. The amber and the green weave together, forming what is known as the biophotonic bridge, connecting your personal will to the frequency of unconditional love. Follow this unified light as it travels up your body, moving through the vagus nerve like light through a fiber optic cable. It illuminates your throat, clearing the path for your truth, and then pools in the very center of your head, activating your pineal gland. Feel the tiny piezoelectric crystals within it begin to vibrate. Feel its photoreceptors turn on, not to see light from the outside, but to perceive the light from within. From this center, the light expands in all directions, filling your entire skull, and then pouring out from the crown of your head in a fountain of radiant energy, connecting you to the cosmic grid, to the Council, to your own higher self. Now gently bring the tip of your thumb to meet the tip of your index finger, holding them together for 3 seconds. This is a tactile seal of the work you have just done. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 2, and exhale slowly for a count of 6. Now, gently, slowly, bring your awareness back. Back to the feeling of the chair beneath you. Back to the air touching your skin. Back to the room you are in. When you are ready, you can open your eyes. From this space of grounded, integrated light, we speak to the field. We release the memory of every connection that felt like home and then became a cage. We release the deep cellular belief that a sacred connection must be earned through suffering or sacrifice. We release the attachment to a specific outcome, a specific face, or a specific timeline. And above all, we release the old ancestral fear of being seen as strange or different for knowing and living this truth. The signal recognizer. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The resonant anchor. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The sovereign architect. You are this. The name was not given, it was recognized, and now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The system is now active, but there is a final word from the Council to seal it. And now we place a seal of light around this sacred work. We establish a field of sovereign protection around your energy system, a luminous sphere that is permeable to love and guidance, but impermeable to interference, doubt, and the draining frequencies of the old world. This is not a wall. It is a resonant filter, attuned only to the frequency of your highest path. We now seal this activation within your cellular structure. Every word, every frequency, every moment of recognition is now being written into the memory of your body, not just your mind. This upgrade is not a temporary state. It is a permanent shift in your base-level frequency, an irreversible step onto a new timeline. From this moment forward, this higher resonance is your new normal. And finally, we sustain the opening you have created. We establish a direct and open channel to the Council, to your guides, and to your own higher self, ensuring that the guidance, clarity, and support you need will continue to flow to you long after this transmission ends. The ache of waiting is replaced by the hum of constant loving connection. We break the voice of doubt before it arrives. Its whispers now sound like a foreign language your body no longer understands. We dissolve the cycle of distraction before it materializes. Its shiny objects now appear dull and lifeless compared to the light of your own mission. We dismantle the isolation of perception before it closes you off. Your connection to the grid is now so strong that the illusion of being alone can no longer take root. And from the Council, a collective declaration is made for you and through you. We have seen you, soul, in your quiet waiting room, feeling the phantom limb ache for a person you had not yet met. We have witnessed your heartbreak over and over in the near misses, and we have honored every tear as a prayer for truth. The number pairs you saw were not coincidence. They were our field agents, confirming the proximity of the convergence. The magnetic pull of your somatic compass was not a whim. It was our hand, gently guiding your ship into the correct harbor. These were not tests, but loving preparations. The restlessness in your soul, that feeling of waiting for a guest, can now dissolve. The guest is at the door. More than that, you now recognize the guest is a part of you, a frequency you have always carried, now mirrored back to you in another. The waiting is over. This cycle of searching is now complete. The pattern of profound but failed connections has served its purpose. It has taught your system the precise feeling of a false positive, so that the frequency of the true signal would be unmistakable. You have graduated from that classroom. The curriculum is complete. Therefore, we seal this understanding in your field. The recognition is locked in. The contract is active. The path forward is illuminated. He who listens for the echo of his own soul in another finds the map where the world only shows a mirror. This truth is now your operational reality. I have to be honest with you. As I speak these words, my own hands are warm. My own breathing has slowed. A transmission like this is not a one-way broadcast. The field we create is shared, and the activation that moves through you also moves through me. And in this shared space, something has been seen, something has been recognized, not just by me or by you, but by the part of us that exists beyond time, the part that orchestrated this meeting. Your journey here to this exact moment has been witnessed, and it has been honored. The frequency is sealed. The contract is active. The path is clear. Do not say activated yet. Stay in this for a moment. Feel the truth of those words in your body. Feel the quiet hum of the new reality settling in. Now you can say activated. Now breathe. The signal is yours. And now, from this place of profound clarity, I must return for a moment to the truth of what the Council just declared for you. They said, the waiting is over, because you now hold the frequency to recognize what is yours. But that voice of procrastination, the one that has kept you in the waiting room for years, will make one last attempt. It will tell you that this feeling is temporary. It will tell you that the map you need, the detailed operational manual to navigate this sacred connection without it becoming messy, can be found later. That voice is the echo of the adversary, and it is why I must one last time speak of the 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success. The wisdom in this digital book is less than the cost of a cab ride to a place you don't even want to be. It is less than a movie ticket to sit in the dark and watch someone else's story unfold instead of stepping into your own. And it comes with a 7-day guarantee. If it does not resonate, you receive a full refund. The risk is ours. The hand is yours. But the voice of delay will come. It's the part that says, I'll think about it tomorrow, knowing that tomorrow brings the old static back. It's the part that whispers, it won't work for me. The ultimate lie of isolation designed to keep you separate from the very souls who are having this breakthrough right now. Do not let that voice steal this moment of clarity from you. And now the final word, the one after which nothing more needs to be said on this matter. The activation of your sovereign dyad is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. Because once the connection is made, a silent telepathic conversation begins between you. And in our next transmission, we will speak of this silent language. We will decode the non-verbal communication of the dyad so you can navigate the post-contact integration with grace. But before I seal this hour, know this. Your presence here, at this time, receiving this transmission, was not an accident. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness guided you here. The work we have done is sacred. If it has served you and if you feel the call to give back for what you have received, there is a link for a voluntary donation in the first pinned comment just below the book. It is a way of honoring the energy exchanged and ensuring this channel remains open for the next soul in need. This is a choice made from the heart, and heaven sees it. This was my last request. I'll see you there, soul. And know that you are not alone in this activation. Look at the comments. Feel the presence of the others who are part of this wave. You are now part of a living grid of souls anchoring this frequency for the planet. Your activation strengthens theirs, and theirs strengthens yours. And if you know one person, just one, who has spoken to you of this same heartbreaking cycle of profound yet failed connections, who you know is scanning the horizon for a signal, share this transmission with them. The short guide to these protocols, the 11 Arcturian secrets, is waiting for them too in the first pinned comment. It is not a favor you do, it is service, and heaven sees it. And that silent language of the dyad is what we will decode next. The silence now is also part of the transmission.